Was the mysterious sinking of the Bayesian super yacht not an accident at all, but was it murder? If you haven't yet heard about this story, I'm about to send you down a massive rabbit hole. On the evening of August 19, 2024, video captured the luxury yacht, the Bayesian, which was anchored about half a mile off of Sicily's northern coast. There was a storm that night, and the boat seemed to be swaying slightly for about a minute before it completely disappeared in the video. The storm had created a water spout, which is basically like a small tornado on water, which also allegedly slammed into the boat. Witnesses stated that the yacht capsized within a mere 16-minute time span. 22 people were on board, 12 passengers and 10 crew, and all but 7 managed to get into a life raft as the boat began to sink. The others never made it out. 15 people were rescued from the life raft, and the bodies of the missing 7 have all been recovered. Boats sink all the time, so what's so different about this one? Sailboats are known to be extremely difficult to sink unless there's been catastrophic damage, particularly to the hull. Watch this creator's video, he does an excellent job explaining this. So that brings us to who was on the boat. On board was British tech tycoon Mike Lynch and his 18-year-old daughter. Lynch had recently been acquitted of criminal charges, but we'll get to that later. Also on board was Chris Mavillo and his wife. Chris worked for Clifford Chance, the legal law firm that represented Lynch, and the chairman of Morgan Stanley International, Jonathan Bloomer, and his wife. All of those individuals, along with the ship's chef, Ricardo Thomas, did not survive. Lynch's wife was also on the boat, but survived, telling reporters that she woke up at 4 a.m. as the boat tilted, then heard the windows in the yacht shatter. So let's talk about Mike Lynch. Lynch is a British tech entrepreneur who is worth over $1 billion. In 2011, Lynch sold his company, Autonomy Corporation, to Hewlett-Packard for $11 billion. He personally made about $800 million from the sale. Hewlett-Packard then accused Lynch and the VP of Finance at Autonomy, Stephen Chamberlain, of artificially inflating the value of Autonomy. They brought a civil case against Lynch in London. Lynch and Chamberlain were also indicted for fraud in the United States. Lynch and Chamberlain went on trial in San Francisco in March 2024. Lynch was charged with 16 counts of wire fraud, securities fraud, and conspiracy, while Chamberlain faced 15 counts of wire fraud and conspiracy. In June 2024, both Lynch and Chamberlain were found not guilty of all charges. Then on August 17, 2024, Chamberlain was struck by a car and died while out running in Streatham, Cambridgeshire. Are you seeing where this is going? An Italian public prosecutor has just announced that they opened an initial investigation into manslaughter and negligent shipwreck. No specific suspects have been named so far. The divers that went down to retrieve the bodies stated that the boat was apparently intact with no gashes and no sign of impact. But only half of the hull is currently visible to the divers. The boat had a mast that stood 237 feet above the waterline and also had a retractable keel which was found partially elevated. The keel acts as a counterweight to keep the boat upright. Some are suggesting that the unusually tall mast and the elevated keel are two factors that could have caused the boat to capsize.